We're live. 30 seconds of silence starting now.
To all the graduates.
To all the graduates. Oh, that was dinky. Yeah. I don't know. I've seen a couple of virtual graduations, but ultimately, yeah, no in-person graduations to speak of, which, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it's special to some people. For me, I didn't give a fuck. I just wanted to get it over with.
See, that's the thing. It's for us at this point in our lives, like graduation, like if you don't have a kid that's getting ready to graduate, like, and get that momentum towards like, okay, this is really the next step into fucking adulthood and all this other shit. Like you're almost there with Rob. But
yeah,
in the meantime, like my kids are all older. Yeah, it's more of a nuisance for me because fucking yesterday was the drive-through fucking graduation with the fire trucks and every fucking noise. They went through 3 townships with this fucking parade, and it was a big deal because you're finally fucking your mandatory sentence was over.
Yes,
basically is what it turns into. Like in the we have foreign listeners, right? So in the United States, really, your 12 years of fucking primary school it's a sentence. Like you have to go, or you have to have a damn good reason why you're not. And oh, by the way, if you don't have a high school diploma, there's a lot of shit you can't do in the United States,
right?
So it's a big deal. It is a big deal, and not just to high school graduates, but college graduates. I think it's even bigger because that's like the next biggest step.
Oh yeah,
and we know Luna Girl's daughter, she just graduated Penn State, and I know there's a handful of other people that are all celebrating the graduation and moving past this fucking mandatory sentence and spending herds of money to fucking get an education. And I'm personally, we're almost to July. There's not going to be any more of this bullshit. I'll be glad when it's over. Like I'm tired of fucking.
What bullshit are we talking
about?
The
celebration of the graduation. Like again,
okay.
it's like the parades and fucking all the stuff. Like
because I thought you were talking about COVID for a second. I'm like, I don't think we're done with that shit yet.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, fuck, man. If you read what's going on in the South, especially Florida and fucking Texas, and
serves those motherfuckers right. They just were like, oh, well, we're gonna do whatever we want, and then next thing you fucking know. The huge resurgence in the fucking numbers. Shocking.
Yeah, it's happening in California too, where initially they were one of the higher states, and then they had a massive drop off after restrictions and everything else, and then they were not even talked about for a while. Now all of a sudden it's like this big surge again. It's like, fuck.
Where's that? So many times I've wanted to find the meme that says we solved COVID. There's like 2 dudes like. And they basically say, oh, to do something silly like in California, the initial shutdown. Yeah, they solved COVID. Hooray! Open everything back the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, no. These huge population densities and huge surges of people.
But in Jersey, we're not letting anybody in now until they've quarantined. I'm sure you've seen those restrictions that just hit. So New York, New Jersey, we're like, nah. We just got the shit under control.
Yeah.
We were fucking ground zero for COVID for months. And now any of you motherfuckers down south come in here, quarantine.
Nope, fuck it. All you snowbirds that fucking want to come back to New Jersey now, nope. Fucking stay down there and sweat your ass off. Go ahead, sweat out that COVID.
Yeah. It's interesting, especially which we'll get into with my dad being here and everything else. But yeah, man, weird times. And COVID, I guess I naively thought by this point in the year we would be done talking about it, or it would just start to be fading into the background, but it does not seem like that at all.
No, it'll be. Hey, I'm happy that I've been working on the yard and the pool's ready and everything for my staycations and shit like that. So and going out and enjoying a little bit of summer. Aside from other things, we'll get to that.
Indeed, we will. And until then, hello, everyone. everyone, and welcome back to All Things Star Wars, the greatest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. I'm Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here each and every single week, the Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How's it going?
I'm typing away.
Yeah, just interacting with the chat, not paying attention to the show.
Oh, I'm trying to make sure that we get the crawl back.
Yes.
Since if you're watching on YouTube and there wasn't a crawl, given to us by Dutch from the Helmet Fire Studios.
Yep.
Yeah, we suck.
Well, yeah, and I think that's kind of
Jason
more of
sucks.
it's more an indicator of my disorganization, which we will get into when we get into my week, because we got a lot to talk about when it comes to that. But until then, what are we talking about this week?
I think we're talking about a book that we decided we're going to start reading a little bit ago as part of the Summer of Legends.
Yes.
It was a little higher than I wanted, but yeah. So Star Wars, the Jedi Academy trilogy, book 1, Jedi Search.
Yes. Now,
allegedly,
since I have not had a chance to reread this for the podcast,
right,
I am imbibing a lot of alcohol to add to my entertainment, or to your entertainment.
We're doing it live.
So yeah, we're doing it live because
Jason's trying to pull a Dave on this one.
Yeah, because Dave's gonna have to lead the discussion on this, because I read this back in '93 or whatever, whenever the fuck it first came out, and I meant to read it again. I read like the first 2 chapters, and then shit hit the fan, and that was the end of that.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we will get there.
We'll get there.
So, but yeah, we are talking about Jedi Search. Oh, good stuff. But in the meantime, we got some Star Wars news. A little bit. Little trickle of news.
Well, before we get to Star Wars news, let's talk about podbelly.com.
Sure.
And go in there for all your podcasting needs. What are you looking for? Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Just continue.
Podbelly.com, which I usually have queued up, and I really should have something written down for this.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like as you search for the
Hey!
So pig out on podcasts, go to podbelly.com. You go to the landing site, there's all kinds of good stuff there. The All Things Star Wars podcast is in the listed directory, along with our friends at the Escape Pod and Used and Abused. Everybody that we know and love can be found on podbelly.com.
Yes.
Go there, do it. Tell them that the All Things Star Wars podcast sent you. And more to come as far as the podbelly.com stuff goes.
Indeed.
All good.
Yes.
All good stuff.
Lots of news flowing out of the Podbelly news out of the Podbelly / All Things Star Wars realm. Hopefully we'll have more to talk about next week, right? Today's date is yes, we will have more to talk about next week.
Yes.
No matter what.
How about Patreon?
And all of our patrons: Tony Ferrari, Camille Donovan, Nick Jackson, Frederick Martin, Big Lovin', Scott Rasmussen, Tactical Swede, Don Solsky, Shotgun Mark, Avery Morgan, and Luna Girl and Dragon Buddy. Thank you all very much for your support. You are the reason why we do this. And if you want to support the All Things Star Wars podcast, patreon.com/ATSW podcast. Anything you give goes right back into the studio. We've got all kinds of ideas. The next thing we do need to purchase soon, because I think we fragged that money for a specific thing, and we need to get it done so I don't have to bring this thing in here every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to stop living in the Stone Age.
Indeed. So what you got there?
So some friends of the podcast, they call themselves the trolls of the chat, and I don't know if they're going to be on tonight. Looking through the chat, don't see them. You may recognize them as Eric Johnson and Sean. I shouldn't use last names, but I did, so fuck it. They have this amazing relationship with a local brewer or a local distiller called Stateside. And what I have here in my hand is Stateside Black Label Bourbon. We talked about this a little bit in last week's chat, where they said, hey, we've got a bottle for the show. And we had a meeting on Friday night. I don't remember this. We did some damage to this bottle. Stateside, you can go like to the Wegmans liquor store and find Stateside vodka in said bottle.
Yeah. And
it's unique because it has that Grolsch style lid, which we know from. I have the last time I had a Grolsch was on your
My Finny trip.
Yeah, your
yes, when
Finny
we
trip
went through
part
Germany.
A.
Yeah.
Yes, because we
Through the
were
fatherland.
that's right. We were inebriated to the
Yes.
next level, and then we were raiding the grocery store or the basically the
It was more of a convenience store.
right
It
the
was
gas
right
station.
that was right next door to the hotel.
Yeah, and we bought them out of basically all their alcohol.
Yeah, and this was after an all nighter. This was the sun was coming up.
Yep.
We're still drinking on the fucking grass.
Yep.
Between the hotel and the convenience.
Yeah, they
store.
kicked us out of the hotel. All the restaurants and shit had closed. And
man, what a night that was.
It was a good night.
It was a good night.
But yeah, so the Grolsch lid, stateside black label, bourbon, stateside vodka. Like I said, local company. You can find it in the liquor stores.
Did I completely miss this conversation last week? Was I like that lit last week?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But the reality is that our friends, the trolls, were going to have a conversation with the stateside people, and maybe we can talk about having a little kickback.
Okay,
so
all right. So yeah, more to come with
I
that,
really like
hopefully.
these bottles. They're I like the Grolsch lids. It's just it's a simple bottle,
and it reminds me of the German beer. That goes back to that whole Germany discussion.
Exactly.
Where the German beers that you buy that have that cap on it. That's very it's very cool.
So
Very
hopefully
different.
stateside is listening.
Yes, indeed. So awesome.
And it's delicious. It's very, very good. Like their vodka is very good, but their bourbon is remarkably good. Give me a little.
Just give me.
I can't believe you're
just the tip.
There you go. I don't want to waste it.
What do you mean wasted? Like
You just had
me drinking it as a waste?
You just had fucking Jägermeister in there. I was about to say Goldschlager.
Oh my god,
that would have been.
No,
what are we in our fucking 18s? That's a real thing.
No, I know. Like,
Yeah,
trust me, I remember all the girls were into Goldschlager back in the day. Like, as soon as we graduated high school, going back to graduations, right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that was the height of my fucking partying / drinking. Was right around graduation. We were getting together every fucking weekend. It's like, all right, what kind of booze can we get this weekend? And the girls always wanted the fucking Goldschlager.
What a fucking shit show Goldschlager is.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Go ahead, try it.
Ooh, that's good.
It is good, right? For something it's got good color. It's just good. The bourbon is good.
That aftertaste, it goes right into your nose.
Well, that could be the leftover Jaeger in the fucking glass.
No, that's not that.
But yeah, it's good stuff. So
all right, sweet. So that's enough about alcohol. So
Sean is in there. One of the trolls is here.
All right, what's up, Sean? Like I was saying, we had some Star Wars news. If you go to StarWars.com, not much. They're still posting about the fucking Empire at 40. So really slow Star Wars news week again.
Right.
But we did have the gameplay trailer for Star Wars Squadrons that we talked about last week.
Look, if you've listened to this show for 5 minutes, you know that the TIE Fighter everything is what I'm into, right?
Yeah.
So the TIE Fighter game, I want to say simulator, but I guess it was more branded as a game.
It was considered a game, but yeah.
But
the old PC game.
The old PC game, TIE Fighter, is my favorite jam. That's it. That's everything that I've played since then is aspiring to that level. The gameplay trailer comes out for Squadrons. Now, the trailer itself got me excited because like first person cockpit view, fucking flying.
They throw in the John Williams music. Yeah, hard-ons ensue.
Yes, exactly.
Good to go.
Then the gameplay actually shows up.
Yeah,
and I want it. I want it right now. I need it.
Yeah,
like I've already procured a fucking machine that will enable me to play this game at max effort. I'm preparing myself. There's a couple things.
So hold on, but before you even get into that, you know how we always preach the whole managing expectations out the window, gone, forget it. So continue.
No expectations. I'm so stoked. With the gameplay, what they're releasing, and we don't need to go into the details, but you can go to EAGames.com or whatever.
Or even just Google fucking Squadrons gameplay trailer.
And there's going to be a million people that are breaking it down. Yeah. I found that the subreddit actually for Star Wars Squadrons that I subscribed to immediately after the fucking trailer came out has been pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
One of the big things is you're a squadron of 5 going into a lot of stuff. So you're going to have the ability to fucking name your squadron.
Oh,
and so
okay.
This is I legit have a fucking thing on my phone that this is how many, like, this is all the names I've come up with for the fucking squadron name. And
can you pre-register like squadron names?
I don't know. I don't know how all that really works.
I would be willing to bet that if they're going to have a pre-order bonus, right? Where if you pre-order, you are first in line for squadron names. I'd be willing to bet.
I can tell you that pre-ordering just so far has gained nothing. But that's to say, who's to say? But this is probably, I haven't bought a PC game that hasn't been Star Wars related, like through Steam since I was paying for Old Republic.
Is it available on Steam? Is that where you bought it?
It is available on Steam.
Good.
And apparently, like if you go on Steam, you get a $5 coupon.
Oh, sure.
So you can get it for $35 opposed to $40.
Sure.
So go out there, do it.
Steam is great. Do it. Make the sacrifice.
See, I personally, I don't care for Steam. Some of the stuff that I played through Steam, I don't like the extra steps, but I'm also not playing it on the fastest computers.
Right.
Think about Steam. Steam has all this overhead, right?
Right. It's its own client. You have to have that open in addition to the game.
So it has overhead that's built into it. And if you're not running a solid machine that can handle that, then it tends to bog down. So
fair enough.
I'm not, the platform is fine. I'm just saying that my ability to be able to game inside of it has been limited because I don't necessarily have the hardware.
But that should be resolved.
It should be. And I'm going to get the straight game anyways, because fuck it.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I really think that we need those loyalists that are out there, the people in the chat talking about Goldschlager. Dutch Goldschlager shot dumped in a cider better than anything pumpkin spice. Anything's better than pumpkin spice. You know what? You know what? A pumpkin pie is the only thing that I'll tolerate pumpkin wise. That's it. Pumpkin pie.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because I mean,
I swear to God, if you fucking bring up Sam Adams,
we're about a month removed.
Oh my fucking God!
From the beginning of the Oktoberfest season, the beers and everything else. I'm just saying, last week of July, first week of August.
One thing that I wish would happen. We're sidebarring, by the way, for those playing the drinking game at home.
This is why they come. So.
Can we just enjoy, like, we're the third day into summer, right? We just had the summer solstice.
Yep.
The weather's been nice. Can't we just enjoy this? Do we have to fucking start immediately with fucking October everything and July, and now I got to start fucking thinking about Halloween?
Hey, Dutch in the chat is the one who brought up fucking pumpkin spice. He started it.
Well, all right, but it's been lingering.
I'm piggybacking on the fucking subject.
No. You see, it's been boiling over. Like, oh, I can't wait till Oktoberfest. Can't wait till Oktoberfest. I just want to fucking enjoy. I want to enjoy the moment,
and you can do that. And I can do that. You know, I'm going to Ocean City tomorrow, you know, to walk on the fucking beach and enjoy the summer and all of that. But because Dutch mentioned it, by the way, a month from now, I'm going to be talking about Oktoberfest. So you better fucking.
But a month from now is too soon.
It's probably fair.
You know what I want? I want Patreon. I want our Patreon supporters to go out there, and I am willing to pay to have Jason not be allowed to talk about Oktoberfest until October 1st.
All right, patrons, it's on you. Do you want me to talk about Oktoberfest? Or do you want to acquiesce and let Dave have his summer?
Obviously, yes.
I know the better answer here. So
because Christmas already is claimed by August. Yeah, it's so silly. I remember as a kid and, being down at the campground, or my buddy's campground, or when we were staying down there in the July timeframe, when you have Christmas in July, and it was basically for campground people and people that were seasonal. It was like, hey, we don't get to celebrate this with these people because it comes from all you're coming from PA and you're coming from all these places to come down to Jersey Shore to spend your summer at Christmas time and everything else. Like back in those days, like back in the fucking early 90s, you didn't you wrote letters still. Yeah. You had somebody's fucking phone number or you wrote them a letter.
Yeah.
Like legit. So I think back on, I totally lost my train of thought.
We were talking about, Oktoberfest and the season.
Christmas in July. Christmas in July. So it was an excuse to set up like a Christmas tree, put up Christmas lights and stuff like that. That was cool. But it didn't, the stores weren't selling shit for Christmas in July. July was July. Right. You go to the fucking store and buy a goddamn beach shovel and a pair of flip-flops. Yeah. That's what you got in fucking July. No. Or a pair of fucking shorts.
No, July now, it's like, I better start thinking about Christmas and ornaments and trees.
I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. So please, coronavirus, let's knock people back a few pegs. We don't need to ship out fucking Halloween starting in July. We don't need to do that.
The stores will be popping up. I mean, you might have to wear a mask.
I hate it.
That's the one redeeming thing about Halloween this year. You're already wearing a mask, so you don't have to wear a fucking mask over the mask. I would hope, So fuck Halloween. That's it. That's our exodus. That's our saving grace. We're already wearing masks.
Summer of Legends.
Yes. So, all right. Do we want to move it? Or first of all, anything else about Squadrons?
No.
Before we carry on.
No.
Looks great.
A sidebar all the way off of it.
Yeah. So. Super excited about Squadrons. Comes out in October, first week of October, right around the time of Oktoberfest. So
that's what I think about your Oktoberfest.
Yeah. So really looking forward to this. Should be a good time. And if anybody in our chat, any of you listeners, you want to get together on Squadrons, create a squadron in the game, by all means, hit us up. Dave and I are going to be playing.
Yeah.
So
that leaves 3 extra slots.
Yeah.
So
are there a lot of slots in Vegas?
I'm not answering that.
Come on, man. I tried to tee you up and you won't take the bait.
I won't do it.
All right, whatever.
Nice.
Fuck you.
It's a good bottle for the bourbon rack.
Indeed. All right, moving into our weeks. So
yeah, where is Ivo? Right. We haven't even gotten to the weeks yet.
All right, we got to back up a little bit here. So right. I know I've been talking about my dad coming out for a while, right? So this was 2 months ago, something like that. I'm starting to frag out. Okay, my dad's coming at this point in June. I got to take leave. I put in okay, I want to take leave 3 or 4 days before my dad actually gets here. This way, we can clean up, get ready, and I can just get the fuck away from work because work makes me want to fucking kill myself any day I even think about it. So, I put in my leave request for the 16th or something like that. And of course, the reaction I get is, well, do you need to take it that early? What day did your dad actually get here? And I was like, well,
are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, well, he gets in on this day. They're like, well, if you started on the 22nd, you won't miss a day with him. And then you can help us out with this stuff. And I'm just like,
how about you just have a nice tall glass of go fuck yourself?
Yeah, well, this is back when I was like, well, maybe I can make chief and everything else. Anyway, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll start my leave on the 22nd. I'll make you guys happy, whatever. All kinds of other shit goes on. We have appliances breaking in the house, and then we've got this one repair guy is going to be here on the 22nd. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. That's the day I start my leave. Something else is happening on the 22nd. So I'm just like, okay, fucking whatever. Okay, let's just get through this. I'm like, okay, dad's getting here on the 22nd. All right, cool.
That's right.
So about on the 19th, we're like, okay, dad's getting here on the 22nd. Let's start cleaning up around the house and everything else. Then this last Saturday, the 20th, wake up. I'm on my second cup of coffee, still kind of, working my way into the day. It's 8 a.m. Get a text from my dad. It's like, hey, son, heading to the airport. See you this tonight. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So again, this is the 20th. I'm like, wait a minute, but I thought he was supposed to be here on the 22nd. Then I'm like, go back. Wait, 22nd is when they wanted me to start my leave. Fuck. So I go back to my text messages with my dad, and he's like, yeah, I'll be there on the 20th to this date. I'm like, oh no. And then of course I have to look over to Kristen. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
remember how my dad was going to be here on Monday? Yeah, he's getting here tonight. So it's a mad fucking scramble in the Roscom household at this point
Right.
to fucking clean everything up and get everything ready for company and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, oh no. So yeah, ultimately, I can't fucking keep a date straight in my head to save my life.
This is why, for the studio audience, this is why we did not
Exactly
tape on our
21st
on our usual Sunday or
Yeah.
Monday time slot.
Well, no, we were scheduled to
We were going to do one on Sunday because your
Yes.
dad was arriving on Monday.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which-
that
so-
didn't happen.
all that fell
obviously.
through.
Yeah.
And it was a great text message from Jason, like, so ... Like, so my dad's coming tonight. Oh, well,
Yeah.
I guess that means we're not taping, are we?
Yeah. No. So
Fucking great.
yeah, I was confused.
See ya, Bronco.
Yeah.
See, we'll be still doing our weeks in 30.
Indeed. So yeah, so that happened, and he got here. Everything went well. You know, he got here on Saturday evening, and it's been great since he got here. And I say my dad because it's not just my father; it's my dad and my stepmom.
Right.
Which, you know, I want to get off on a little more of an emotional tangent here because my dad and my stepmom Debbie have been married for 36 years now,
Mhm.
right? You know, I know your parents were together for a good portion, or well,
They're still
been
together, yeah.
your whole life. For me growing up, and every one of my friends growing up, we all came from broken homes, right? None of our parents were together. My mom got knocked up when she was fucking 16. Her and my dad tried it for a couple of years, but it was very clear that they were not meant to be together. And that's, you know, for the best, because knowing them the way I know them, I'm like, no, that would have been fucking misery
Right.
every single day of my life. But, you know, growing up, I lived with my mom and primarily my stepfather. You know, my mom ended up moving on too. She married this guy, complete fucking asshole. The guy treated me like shit every single day that he and my mom were together. You know, treated me like a burden, made me feel like a fucking just like a worthless piece of garbage. On the flip side of that, though, you had my stepmother, Debbie, who it treated me like a son. She was nothing for 36 years, nothing but extremely nice to me. You know, treated me as well as any mother would. So, you know, every time I say like, oh yeah, my dad's coming out, my dad, it's really my dad and my stepmom, Debbie, who, like I said, is just fucking phenomenal and should be the poster child for a step parent because she's been fucking amazing. I love her like I love my own mother. You know, she's fucking phenomenal. Fuck my stepfather, though. He was a dick. Thankfully, him and my mom didn't work out because my mom's batshit crazy. But either way, yeah, sorry, mom. But yeah, no. So my dad and my stepmom Debbie are here, and we're having a lot of fun. You know, I mentioned to you weeks ago that we play the Wii Golf.
Right.
Every time my dad comes out, we play the Wii Golf, and now my oldest son Rob is also getting in on the action. So we have a Wii Golf family tournament going on right now.
Nice.
So we've played fucking 9 rounds, I think. No, 4 plus 3 plus 2. 9 rounds. Yes. Perfect math. So yeah, I've won 4 and my dad's won 3 and Rob's won 2 rounds of golf on Wii Golf on the Wii, the original Wii.
The original
So,
Wii.
but I mean, we're having a blast. It's a lot of fun. I'm so glad now that my son can partake in this with me and my dad. You know, it's 3 generations and everything.
Yeah.
But it's good. Ultimately, they've been here for a few days. They're here for another 4 days after today. And we're enjoying it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So
that's good. That's as chaotic as it starts. And anytime you have people over, it is. There's the fucking the pre-show chaos.
Yes,
that has to happen. And guess what? You got to have it all right away.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
good on you.
And fuck, man, that day Saturday when I found out that they were going to be there that night, it was all hands on deck in the house. Fuck, we got to get this place in order. Shit, everybody clean everything. But it all worked out. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, good shit. So that's been my week. Let me just make sure. Oh, in addition to that, in addition to the Wii Golf, we've been playing a couple of board games / card games. And I just want to throw this out there for any of the listeners. There is a card game called No Thanks, which is simple, but it is incredibly fun. Holy shit, it is so fucking fun. Dave, you and Kathy need to come over, and we need to play this sometime because
right.
it's you'd love it. You're basically, it's kind of like a take on sort of a blackjack kind of. You're betting on which cards you're gonna get and all this. It's good shit. But
All
it's
right.
called No Thanks for any of the listeners out there. And also, we've been playing a game called Wits and Wagers, which is another very simple yet fun game about answering questions and betting on who's got the right answer. Good shit. So if anybody out there is interested in any kind of party games, you don't know how to entertain your guests, No Thanks, Wits and Wagers.
Nice. Better than, well, games that I've played lately is all CIVO, Cards Against Humanity, like those games, because that's a lot of fucking fun.
Those are fun with the right audience.
With the right audience, yes.
When you have teenagers and then the elderly playing, also probably not the right thing.
The elderly.
I mean, they're in their 60s, so
the elderly in their 60s?
Is that considered elderly? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Well, okay, somebody give us the definition. When do you become the elderly? At what age?
Wow. Well, I think
there's got to be cutoff. No. There has to be a definitive cutoff line. When you pass this age, you are now elderly.
I'm going to have to Google it.
Yeah. All right. But we're doing it live, folks.
When are you considered elderly? When are you considered enrolled in college? 65 years.
There you go. My dad's 65, Debbie's 66. So
that's wow.
Okay. I was right. So that's the answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll allow you to have that one.
I appreciate it.
Because Google came in big fucking letters too. Like
they came in.
Look. 65 years. Okay. Right there. First thing.
That's it. That's
anyway.
So anyway, what have you been doing?
Thing tumbles because Jason was right at something.
At least I'm not rubbing it in. Rubbing it in your face, just shoving it in your face, just slapping you.
Do I usually do that?
No.
Oh, all right.
Well,
I mean, sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
Sometimes I let go. Dutch says when the pipes stop working, that's when you're elderly.
But there's pills that varies. For that. So
there's pills for that.
There are, yeah. Technology.
If you feel like you should be in a wheelchair full time, that could potentially be it. That's pretty much me.
Yeah. If you go from wanting to get laid to just wanting to die, that's the cutoff line.
Well, perfect segue to my week then, because this has been just I'm just been trudging along. That's one foot in front of the other, trying to get through the days. It has been just this interlaced pain sandwich that I don't know what's going on. So drinking, which is helping for tonight, and all the things don't work. And it's like, what the fuck? It's just yesterday was a tough day. Yesterday was a really tough day. I'm still recovering from yesterday. And it's not like I did anything. I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't really. I sat on my fucking computer all day with fucking idiots. I don't want to get into it. But yeah, just the fibromyalgia and everything else just makes just existence is pain. Legitimately. Here's the best analogy I can give you for this. I want you to visualize this. Okay. So picture a voodoo doll, right?
Oh.
So you got a voodoo doll.
I already see where this is going.
You have a voodoo doll, right? The Mando is going to be our voodoo doll.
Sure.
And
this is the way.
So this is the way. And a fucking cat gets hold of the doll, right? Cat gets hold of it, drags it outside, fucking leaves it out in the yard, fucking picks it up, bites the shit out of it, right? Then just leaves it out in the cold. And then so you get all the fucking fun with the cat. And then some fucking little bastard comes and picks it up. Some Sid bastard.
I was just going to say Sid,
yeah. And he comes up. He's like, you know what would be really fun for this voodoo doll or for this doll? It would be to put fucking sewing needles in it and then take a 9-volt battery and hit it on where the sewing needles are. And then hold it for a good long time too. Like just and then stop. So there's being this super intense pain for 5 minutes and then it just goes away. And then it happens again randomly. You can't do anything to stop it. It's just this is what has happened. So that has been going on. along with I broke my fucking toe. Like it's getting better. Like the bruising and all that fucking shit.
Yeah.
But yesterday was god awful, and the day before. And so like that just it sucks. And then fucking I got stung by a wasp today.
Oh shit.
Putting so I take the dog for a car ride, right? We got like, oh, let's go for a car ride, right? I wanted to go to McDonald's to get my dollar soda. Like, let's go down to the park. So we go down to the park. I let the dog run around. She takes a shit. I don't have a bag on me. Fuck. So we walk to the car. I get in the car, drive to where the shit is, have a bag in the car, boop, pick up the shit, drive to a fucking, one of those things that has like the doggy poop fucking bags and a little receptacle, right?
I was just thinking a dumpster, but okay.
This came first.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to do the right thing. I picked up the poo. Now I'm going to put it in the thing. Open the fucking lid. Fucking wasp just stings the fuck out of me. I'm like, what the fuck? Wow. I should have just left the goddamn shit on the street.
Yeah.
It doesn't pay to be a good person.
I know, right?
It really doesn't. Like, so it has been just an absolute shit show of an existence. And I'll go to bed tonight, wake up tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be better.
Yeah.
So I've been like leaning into this like stoicism. I brought it up a little bit before in my week to last, but
yep.
So I'm reading all these books about stoicism and trying to like relate to that stuff. And it's there's actually some really good shit in there. The problem with any of this stuff with therapy or fucking reading about shit or self-help or anything else, the problem is that all that shit is great when you're not in crisis, air quote. Like, because when you're did it shit?
No, go ahead.
Oh. It's everything is like easy to do when you're not in crisis, and so you try and learn all these things so when you get in crisis, like, you can manage it, and you can't. So anyway, that is this week's episode of
I was gonna say it sounds miserable.
It is. It's fucking miserable. Yeah. But sometimes there's good things.
Ooh. All right, we got more pops. This is the one. Okay, so Dave's got new pops. For those of you on the YouTube, you can see it, but for the audio listeners, this is Han Solo and Carbonite. I remember. So Dave was telling me, a couple of these new figures came out. Yep. You got Leia, Luke, and Yoda, Han Solo and Carbonite. I'm like, you have to get Han and Carbonite. I mean, that's not an option.
Right.
This is not an option. Inward. So
while he was saying that, it made its way into my cart and showed up over since the last pod. It is a cool pop.
Oh yeah.
And it's got the 40th Empire Strikes Back emblem on it.
Oh, let me see.
And I think
yeah, there it is.
The other what was the last pop I had? Oh yeah. So
you're asking a lot of me here.
Luke and Yoda.
Oh yeah.
Up there in the corner.
Right, because it's on the back of that one.
So, and ironically, Jason is wearing a great mashup shirt with Boba Fett taking a selfie with Han and Carbonite.
Yes, I fucking love this shirt. Me and my son Rob both have this shirt.
Yeah.
It's called Selfet. It's Boba Fett taking a selfie in front of the fucking Han Solo and Carbonite. It's great. Good shit.
Yeah, it is. Jason has a amazing collection of mashup tees.
Which, by the way, I haven't bought a new one in probably a couple of years now. I stopped buying them about 2 years ago.
Yeah, you have to. It's
because I've thrown a bunch out since then.
Yeah, I know. I gave some to fucking Rob. Some of the ones that I had. So
as much as I'd love to keep them all, and there's so many good ones out there, there's only so many t-shirts that I need and that I can store in my fucking closet. So
sorry, distracted.
Yeah. Squirrel.
Anyway, I'm done with my week. Ivo went to bed, so it's not even worth dragging out.
It's like, what the fuck, man?
I know.
I thought he lived for your week.
Well, he did touch and go. He's got to go to work in 7 hours.
All right. Which, by the way, Ivo G, you were supposed to leave us a review on iTunes, and you didn't. And for anybody else, if you have not left us a review on iTunes, first of all, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because I know more than 53 of you listen to the show. So please go into iTunes, click that 5 stars, and whatever you write as part of your review, doesn't matter what you write. You can write, Jason sucks Darth Vader's dick. I don't care. We'll read it live on the air. But you have to do that.
Yeah.
Because it helps.
And you will do it.
And you will do it.
It does help. And we are, I think we're at a point with our platform that we are ready to grow.
Yes.
We are definitely ready to grow. And I hope that all of you can help us out with that.
Yes, we need your help. We need it.
He'll suck your dick.
I suck your dick.
All right.
Give me that 5-star. So, before we get into our main topic, we need to take a break. Like, we need to. It's
all right.
It's really bad.
All right.
We need to take a break.
All right. So
we will be right back after this word from our sponsors.
Truncated silence is going to take out the pause. It's just going to be snapped.
It always does.
Just like the pause before my and okay, now what do I click?
Yes.
Oh, we didn't turn on the fucking light. God damn it. We need it.
It's all this wee shit.
We got a checklist.
Yeah, a pre-flight checklist.
Fuck. We need checklists. Oh my God. Chat. Yeah, fibro. Fuck. Usually I can deal. Usually I can. This past week, it's been tough for no fucking reason at all. None. Existence is pain. So, what else? What do we got? Tango. The escape pod just spent $300 trying to fix a Wi-Fi problem. I thought you guys fucking went to hardline. I thought you dug a trench, you ran a fucking hardline to the studio. Is the Wi-Fi in the house broke? I mean, on the advice of Big Swede, and I don't know if it's on his channel, the Big Swede Adventures or whatever. He's got like 7 channels. I think he got me hooked up with these wireless access points, and it through Ubiquity. And I'll tell you, when I put that shit in my fucking house, I put 3 access points in my house. Change your life. You'll never worry about fucking Wi-Fi again.
Yeah.
And you have a regular router and fucking have it's PoE. So you only need to do is fucking run a Cat 6 to the antenna, wireless access point, and that's it. It's like it's damn near commercial grade for a few $100. So I drank all the bourbon, Sean. The stateside is gone. I didn't. Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't drink all of it. It got drank at the meeting. But there was enough left over for me to bring it to the show. Plus, I have some other stuff left.
It just means we need more.
We do need more. All of the bourbons. Luna Girl says I described it perfectly. Stephanie Marshall is calling me.
What?
Should I answer it?
Yeah.
Hello?
I need your help.
Don't help her.
All right, hang on.
It's not worth it. Don't do it.
Yeah, we're taping the podcast.
Okay, well, you need to take pause because I have something far more important.
Oh, okay.
You two are just gonna sit there bullshitting on your podcast anyway. It's not live.
That's all we
do. There's people. Well, we can. There's certainly now that you've come up.
Great, wonderful. How long is your podcast gonna go?
Probably another 45 minutes.
So, all right, just answer me real quick if this is a quick answer or not.
Okay.
The check ride took off, did a couple of items for a pilot. They had a maintenance issue, had to land, didn't complete the check ride. Took off 5 days later, completed the check ride.
Mm-hmm. You can do that.
Am I just taking the 2 paragraphs and putting it in the mission description?
No, it should be a separate event. So one, yeah. So yeah, it would be a separate worksheet. So on the format itself, it would have you'd have the one event with no grade, like the
First one with no grade.
Right. First one would have no grade, and then the second one would have the actual grade. And then in the mission description, you should have first sortie, second sortie. And each one,
So before I type in the description, put first sortie, and then before the second, the other worksheet, put second sortie.
yeah. So it'll delineate on the back.
Both of them in there.
Yep, that's the way. And is it the same evaluator?
Yes.
All right, then.
That's one benefit.
Okay.
I don't need a second signature.
No, that's good. But yeah, that's what you got to do.
At the same time, do I wait to the second worksheet to put all the cues in? Or does that matter?
It doesn't matter.
This is riveting for you guys, I know.
So just don't grade the first one. Got it.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Simple enough. Don't go talking about me because I don't punch you in your face.
All right. Fair enough.
But I did put my retirement paperwork in.
Nice. Congrats.
Is first sortie all capital?
No. Yeah.
Colon?
Yeah. Or I don't think at first sortie period enter, then go to rest.
Period enter or space.
Period enter. Yeah, do enter.
Enter, so second line.
Yeah.
Okay, and first sortie is not capitalized?
No, it's capital. GTIMS doesn't capitalize it. It's capital. It's capital FIRST.
GTIMS.
There you go. You do what you want.
So, you're right. There's no guidance in the friggin' 202.
All right. Can I get back to my show now?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye, Steph.
All right. Bye. Yeah. As Dutch knows, might want to edit out this audio. Even not on
yeah, this is
speaker
all
here.
coming out.
Yeah.
Everything during the pee break comes out of the
Yeah.
audio episode.
Yeah, until our second 30-second silence. Yeah, she's loud.
Mhm.
Like she's loud in general. So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that even not being on speaker that ever we
I
she can
heard
be picked up.
everything.
Yeah, so formates are very riveting.
yes, indeed.
You were standing by. Why didn't you answer it?
She didn't call me.
This is true.
Yeah. Went with the expert.
Hmm.
It's all right. I understand.
Yep.
So anyway,
Are we ready? We ready to go back?
I suppose so.
Could use some ice.
Yeah,
I think I
asked,
have one
I asked
more.
for some. I sent a text.
Okay.
Let's go live, and then hopefully the ice will show up as soon as we go live.
All right. Fair enough.
All right. 30 seconds of silence.
And it's what? Go.
Wait, yeah. Too much. 30 seconds of silence starting now. And we're back. So, before we get to our main topic, Dave's got some more ice that he needs to take to fill his drink with. So,
All right.
we've got our ice delivery service, which has been
She's
little suspect over the last few weeks,
I may have
but
taken it too far last time.
yeah, she
okay.
as you may recall, we got Dallas Cowboy Cup delivery service last week. So, ice is here. So let's see it.
I decided to play nice.
Oh yeah. Oh, look at this.
I can't even see that. What is that?
It's Darth Vader doing what he does best, choking the shit out of somebody.
That's like a classic
This
fucking
is
Star Wars
A
cup.
limited collection edition from the Coca-Cola Company, 1977. Holy shit! Where the
Get the
hell?
fuck out.
Why is there ice in this?
Yeah, this thing.
Why is this not on display?
I know. Well, thank you.
Where did you get this
You're
from?
welcome. eBay.
Fucking hell! This is amazing. This is so not Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. So
Thank you, Kristen.
You owe me like $50 for that cup, by the way.
Get the fuck out.
Dude, 1977.
Yeah,
Fucking
no,
limited edition cup?
that's a limit.
I don't even want to hold it.
All right, we got to show this to the YouTube audience. For the audio listeners, you're just missing out. This is the classic style. Got Vader holding the fucking the dude up. Then you got the classic Star Wars shit
Like
on the
physically
backside.
hands on neck, fucking Arlie Ermy
Yeah.
style choking a motherfucker.
Fucking sweet. Give me one of these.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah. Good shit, man.
Wow.
So, every once in a while she'll dig the knife in, and then sometimes she'll sprinkle some sugar on it.
It says on the back, Darth Vader, personifying the evil of the Galactic Empire, demonstrates his awesome strength and power of destruction as he picks up a soldier with one hand. The question must be asked, can anyone succeed in breaking the power of the evil force? Question mark. That is awesome.
That's good shit, man. So when we're done with this, we're going to just have to put it on display here in the studio.
Yeah. That must have a place of distinction.
Indeed. Yo, pour me something. One of your whiskeys or bourbons or whatever,
Yeah,
since
try
you
s-
drank all the stateside.
Well, yeah, because it's good.
Yeah.
More?
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just gonna get just the tip. Ooh, that smells good.
That's a little Widow Jane.
I like that.
It's good,
Good
right?
shit.
It's very oaky.
Yeah, oh yeah. For sure. So, all right. Anyway, sidebars aside.
This so I find something this is interesting right now. So our
Mhm.
main topic, which is usually what we get into immediately following the shenanigans with P breaks and whatnot.
Yes.
Ordinarily, Jason keeps us on track by saying, all right, now it's the main topic, blah, 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 blah. We're going to talk about things and talk about Star Wars stuff because this is a Star Wars podcast. But since Jason is not prepared
Yes.
this week,
Very unprepared.
Jason is like fully,
I'm in stall mode.
he is in complete stall mode, and it's fucking fantastic because let's face it, this book, as important as it is in the Summer of Legends, it's just the beginning of a I don't know, a larger universe. I don't know how to
Sure.
describe it.
Well, this is the beginning. So we're talking about Jedi Search, the first of the Jedi Academy trilogy. This is we've had Han, Luke, and Leia going off on their weird adventures post Return of the Jedi with Thrawn, the Resurrected Emperor, all this other shit. Now Luke's like, fuck. All right, I guess I need to start actually, teaching other Jedis and reestablishing the Jedi Order and everything else. So this is the start, the first step, the trickle of that process.
Right.
And we're also dealing with the side story of the Imperial Remnant still. This time we're introduced to Admiral Dala, whereas before it was Thrawn and Paleon. Now we're dealing with her. And honestly, I think what we should do here, because I read this book in 1993. It was very impactful on me. Loved it. But it's been 27 years. Wait, math? Right? No, 17 years. When the fuck
93?
Hold on, 90 to the... Yeah, 27 years.
27 years.
Fuck.
Yeah.
27 years since I've read this fucking book.
Yep.
So obviously the details are a little fuzzy at this point. So what I want to do, because you did just read this recently, right? I want to tell you what I remember from this, and you can tell me if it's bullshit or not, or if it came in one of the later books. How much of the later books have you read up to this point?
I only got through half of the second book.
Okay.
So
what I remember from this trilogy as a whole is it starts off, Luke initially goes to the government of Coruscant, whatever they are, and says, hey, I want to reestablish the Jedi.
Right.
Can I have a planet or whatever to do this? I think he was asking for like permission to, where can I do this?
Right. That was kind of like a subplot through the whole thing. So in the very beginning, talking about, okay, makes this pitch to the Senate. Here, I need a planet to be able to train Jedi. I'm going to go off, fucking start collecting them. I need some place to be able to train them. I need some place that's off the grid and whatever. So as you're going through this thing, it's kind of this subtext of like where they're trying to go, which ultimately they make that decision here at the end of this book.
At the end of this book is when they decide.
Right.
Okay. Which ultimately we all know is Yavin 4.
Correct.
So where the rebellion kind of had its first stand against the Empire that we know from episode 4, the temples and everything else. Come to find out they were ancient Jedi temples. And then going back to the Tales of the Jedi books that we talked about, that was also a sort of semi-historical Sith site.
Correct.
Where Exar Kun puts his fucking spirit into one of the fucking temples, whatever.
Let me sidebar off of that real quick. So we've been to, I know me personally, I've been to a lot of these like wonders of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
The pyramids, the fucking the Parthenon, all this other shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, thousands of years of civilization,
yeah,
prior to us. One of the places that was interesting was in Tunisia. Actually, was it's called Corinth. Where so basically there was this site in Tunisia is where I can't believe I forgot the fucking name of it. But there's thousands of years like this. There were Sumerians, like from the Sumerian civilization all the way to present day, had built basically on this site, and it was overlooking the Mediterranean. You know, this area in Tunisia. Really fucking cool. Cool area. And what was cool about it was this layering of all these different civilizations. Like you could, if you dug a hole in time, you could find all of this shit was built on top of each other.
Right.
And
which that makes me think of Coruscant, but
well, no, I'm more of the fact that, you know, you go to these sacred places. If you went to, say, the Mayans, right? Going to
see, that's what I think when I think of Yavin.
Well, obviously, because they
like
filmed it in Guatemala, right? So, but the idea that so many thousands of generations or thousands of years of Jedi or Force, not just Jedi, but just the strength of the Force on those areas, that's where they built their shit. That's because it had that significance. Like, oh, the Force is strong here. Let's build a bunch of shit here. And then, you know, all right, well, fucking Jedi are here. Then the Sith are here. Then a Jedi come back. And then the Rebels kind of come back. And, you know, that whole thing. Anyway. Never mind. This is why I shouldn't sidebar with actual fucking real life shit.
Yeah. So, but I mean, ultimately, there is some significance in the Force to these locations on Yavin. And the way I think of it, I think of it more like the Mayans, like the ancient fucking Mayan temples and everything else kind of hidden in a partial jungle and everything else. And I couldn't remember thinking back on this trilogy when they decided, all right, Yavin 4 is your fucking home.
Yeah. So it was right at the end of this book is where they get to that.
All right. And then I know also throughout the course of this trilogy, they mentioned Leia and her Jedi path or whatever. And it's more like, every once in a while, she'll go in and she'll check in with Luke. He'll give her some tips, some training, and everything else. But for the most part, she's still diplomat Leia. Right. She's still dealing with the problems of the galaxy and everything else. As much as she would love to just go balls deep into Jedi training, she can't due to the nature of who she is.
Well, big thing out of this particular book in Jedi Search is that there's a separation of Jaina and Jason. They come back. So she actually gets to bring them back. They've been in a secluded area, only known to Luke.
Which was a weird concept to me, even back in '93 when I read this. It's like, why would you do that separation? Like, you know, they explained it away. The Empire might be looking for them, their targets or whatnot, but wouldn't they be fucking safest with fucking Ma on fucking Coruscant in the heart of the Republic?
So no, because they're the ultimate targets. So you have these remnants of the Imperial. You have the Imperial remnant. You have all these exterior factors that are now the New Republic they're the target.
Yeah.
So being a diplomat and having this target on your back all the time, sure, you want to keep those kids isolated from that. They also they talk about kind of nurturing the Force abilities as well. With the children by being separated, they can focus and not have all these external distractions and having to be moved around a lot and everything. Yeah. It really reminds me of, if you think about like royalty And as people are, I bring up Egyptology again, right? But
Yeah.
you have these rulers that had all these children. Those children they didn't fucking hang in the throne rooms or anyplace else. They all had, whatever people they were staying with, right? And this,
Sure.
for these two, it's with Winter, and it's like, okay, we're gonna get you to a point where you're gonna be, if you stand there in front of your father, you're not gonna be a piece of shit. And so that's
Right.
It's almost like what we're seeing with this, like, okay, let's groom you a little bit into this role so that when you show back up, you're not a huge burden.
And it's weird because thinking about it in 1993, when I read this, when I was a fucking 16-year-old kid in high school, it's like, okay, that makes sense. Thinking about it now, after I've had 3 children of my own, and it's like, why the fuck would you separate these kids from their parents? Kids need their fucking parents. What kind of fucking damage is this going to do to them in the long run where you isolate them? And Anakin was already around at this point, right?
Anakin was still an infant.
But he was around, and he was also separated, right?
Right.
He was with Jaina and Jason in the fucking hills of whatever fucking isolated planet they were in,
right?
With Winter. And it's like, well, how fucking messed up are they going to be growing up, not knowing their fucking parents? This goes back to the hubris of the fucking Jedi Order, and like, oh, we're just going to rip these fucking kids from their parents and fuck them, right? No attachments. So we're going to raise them without any attachments, without any relatives, family, whatnot, and they'll be fine, right? No, it's all good. This is perfectly normal.
Well, Jaina and Jason had their issues, but I think as we get through to the end of the storyline, as far as the Summer of Legends, as we get to the end of that, obviously Jason goes to the dark side. Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
and it doesn't come back. He ends up having to be killed by Jaina. But
man, okay, that's it. Summer of Legends over.
Yep, Summer of Legends. But yeah, I mean, it didn't seem that abnormal to me, especially because they're a target, and while you're trying to figure out, they're still trying to figure out, like, you had to let's see what's happened in the storyline, right? The fucking Emperor showed back up. What the fuck?
Yep.
Right. And not only did he show back up, but he was like preying on Luke, preying on Leia, because he needed that stronger element in the Force.
Yeah.
If he could have found those fucking kids and be like, oh yeah, I'll just take over these kids' bodies and then fuck it. Like, I have this body
invincible.
Yeah. So I can see it in that aspect of it. I think the biggest thing was, from a story perspective in this book, is more about Leia trying to make that balance of a mother, like, with the kids back. She's trying to be a mother. She's still trying to do all the diplomat shit. And, oh, by the way, Han's out doing whatever the fuck he does. Right. And in this book, Han's fucking rolled up in Kessel.
Right. Him and Chewie, right? They get enslaved in Kessel, and then they stumble upon.
Yeah. So they go out to Kessel.
Yeah.
And what we have the benefit of hindsight with this story, because we know that what the Kessel Run was and everything else. The Kessel Run really wasn't explained until you get to this book.
Right.
Where it explains what the Kessel Run is, explains Han's connection to it.
Yeah.
So when they go back to Kessel,
14 parsecs.
Right. 12.
Come on, you gotta do it in the voice. 12.
I can't do old Han. I can't do Han at all. It's just not one of those voices.
All right.
God damn it, Jason. So you get Han gets rolled up in Kessel by basically they had a prison break when the fucking Imperials, so some other guy who Han's like, oh yeah, they don't kill him, obviously. Blah 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 blah. Right.
Yeah.
The important part of Kessel, what I find extremely interesting, is the going into the Maw. Like, they escape, right? They get hold of Kip Duran.
Yep.
Who is a huge part of the rest of the story.
Oh yeah, for this trilogy and for beyond.
For all of it.
So yeah.
As we go way forward into the story, Kip Duran is huge. So
yeah,
this is where you pick him up, and you get into the Maw and run into this fucking basically they pop into the fucking middle of this thing, and there's fucking Star Destroyers and fucking all this shit.
Yeah.
Like, all this Imperial shit, just like all of a sudden with all their guns pointed at them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, an Imperial fucking shuttle. Because that's what they escaped in, right?
Mhm.
And they're like, "Hey, Imperial shuttle, transmit some codes," and they're like, "Fuck!" Like Han and Chewie are like, I don't know, punch this in. Like
Yeah.
that's not right. So they land and get fucking rolled up.
What's your operating number?
Yeah, they get rolled up and they fucking torture him, and then through the torture of Han, they find out that Death Star was built.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, they were in the mall from fucking the Death Star, the first Death Star.
Yeah, and
before it was a thing.
Exactly. So yeah, taking a step back, these guys were kind of isolated here with the fucking Death Star prototype. That was the big thing that came out of this was
the Sun Crusher.
Right, but it was Admiral Dalla.
No, they didn't have the Death Star prototype. What they had was the Galen Erso of the story, right? They had that fucking engineer, who designed the Death Star,
right?
And because she's the one that ultimately helps them escape, they take the Sun Crusher fucking ship and escape out of the mall in that.
Okay.
So, I forget the name of the fucking engineer, but anyway, the engineer decides like, oh, I heard that the Death Star. I want to hear all these details. Like, what did it look like? You were inside it? Holy shit! And it was real. Like, it portrayed this scientist as just being a fucking completely oblivious to reality.
Right.
All they do is stick an engineer in a box, make shit.
What's in the box?
And then at the side of it, Han's like, "Don't you know what this fucking shit was designed for?" I'm like, "Oh, it's designed to break up planets so it'd be easier to get materials of it." No. And what does it do to all the people on that fucking planet? They go, right? What do you think you're sitting on here? Because the Sun Crusher was the weapon that basically do, instead of just a planet like the Death Star was, the idea was to fucking eliminate the goddamn sun. And Hans tells this fucking engineer, like, what do you think this is for? Like, seriously, think about what they're going to do with this.
Yeah.
And she's like, huh, you know what? Yeah, this is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Maybe he's right. But you have, what's her name? Dalla.
Yeah.
Yeah, Admiral Dalla, who's, what I found interesting about this, like, and even in the cover of the book, like, you see Dalla represented as like this redhead. She was promoted to this position by Moff Tarkin himself because they were boning.
Yeah. So I couldn't remember if they just insinuated that they were fucking or if it was like blatant.
No, she comes right out and says they were fucking.
Like she was sucking that fucking 80-year-old dick.
Right. Well, I mean, it probably wasn't 80 at the time. I mean, you have the entirety that what's from DS1 to the present is probably in the span of
whatever, man. I hear
so
chicks dig older guys. So
hey, it got her promoted.
Exactly.
So cool.
Yeah.
But her job is basically to sit there on the mall and wait till they're called.
Yeah.
And now they know the fucking, after interrogating Han, Death Star 1 is done. They built another one. That one's fucking done. The Emperor's dead twice.
Yep.
And so she's got to absorb all this information, basically sitting there as like, I have all this Imperial fucking technology, all this firepower. Now I'm stuck in the middle of fucking nowhere. Fuck this bullshit. And the end, I think it's like they escape in the Sun Crusher, and then I forget what happens at the end of it.
And again, this was just the setup for the rest of the trilogy, which you mentioned Kip Duron, who is a huge part of this. By the point in the second book that you've gotten to, is he already starting to hear the fucking whispers of fucking Exar Kun? Have we gotten to that point yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah, so I mean, this establishes what it ultimately ends up being a fucking phenomenal trilogy.
Yeah,
with Dalla's story and the Imperial Remnant and all them, and the Sun Crusher and the Death Star prototype and all that stuff, and then you get into Luke setting up this academy on fucking Yavin 4. Have we talked about some of the people that he's accumulated yet?
No, that happens in here. Like he's picked up his first couple of people.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Because he picks up some people that are strong in the Force, and then I remember he picks up like one chick who's like, she's almost like a bard, like a Jedi bard, where she sings fucking songs that have like Force interweaving.
He hasn't picked her up yet.
Okay, so
he's got I can't think of I can't think of the details. He does definitely pick up a couple fucking stragglers.
Yeah.
there's this whole side mission with fucking 3PO and Lando to go check out the same, basically doing the same thing. Like, hey, R2 and is going through all the fucking Imperial archives to find any indication that this person might be force sensitive. Lando goes to this planet with he's with 3PO. I can't think of the name of the planet, but basically it's like this person's fucking got keeps winning at the track. Right. So it's perfect for Lando. He shows up at the fucking track, he's got his cape on, fucking
yeah.
Right, goes in there and comes to find out that like the dude wasn't force sensitive. It was the blob races. Do you remember that? The blob races.
Oh, that's right.
So and again, imagination
shit,
being
man.
key to this fucking Legends material. Summer of Legends. The blob races, you picture this dude fucking inserting a chip into the blob so that the blob would be like, it would fucking zap him so it would run faster.
Yeah.
And Isaac's got all of the fucking answers.
Yeah, he mentioned
here.
Tion. She was the Jedi bard, basically, where she like sang fucking songs. I kind of think of like the battle meditation and all that. That she would do the stuff to kind of. They mentioned she was never really that strong in the Force, but her song had sort of battle meditation aspects to it.
I wasn't super impressed with the people that Luke had picked up.
Yeah,
only because the name that stood out for me going forward in the back end of this fucking Legends material, it was Kip Duron. Right. That was the big push.
Yeah, because after this trilogy and his whole storyline in this trilogy, we find out, he's kind of the hotshot Jedi, especially when we get into the new Jedi Order, right? Mm-hmm. He's the guy, and he's got his boys. He's like Iceman, right?
Right.
He's Iceman and his whole fucking crew, and they're out just kind of being vigilantes at this point because there's no Jedi Order to speak of. This is why Luke came up with the idea, maybe we need a Jedi Council and all this other stuff, because Kip Duron and his boys were out just fucking smugglers right there. Let's just fucking annihilate them. Right. Boom.
Which, who wouldn't fucking do that?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you gave us a fucking pile of fucking shit, had this extraordinary ability, what the fuck am I going to do with it? Right. Oh, I'm here. Give me a fucking AC-130 gunship and let me go fucking take care of some shit.
Right.
Like, I will eliminate a lot of problems in this fucking earth if I have AC-130 and unlimited fucking ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So basically, the Kip Duron is the fucking AC-130 of the Jedi Order.
Yep. But he has a whole involved storyline throughout the whole course of this fucking trilogy. So. I mean, anything else that you got from your reading of this? Did it jump out at you as, yes, this is fucking awesome, or it's all right?
So it's tough sitting here because I read it 3 weeks ago. I didn't read it 27 years ago,
right? But
it's been like 3 weeks since I read it, and I've already started reading the second book, and I read a bunch of fucking stoicism bullshit in between that.
Mm-hmm.
My ADHD, unfortunately, was like went into. I went through this in like fucking half a day.
Yeah.
And then I started in the second book and I'm like, I'm bored. And then fucking had to jump around because that's just how it is.
Yeah.
For me, from a novelization standpoint, this is definitely the buildup.
Yeah.
I don't think that I'll be excited until we get into the Vong, because that for me is where
shit gets real.
Yeah, there's a darkness to what is going on in the Republic, and what's happening to the Jedi. Like, and you got elements of it in other books, in New Jedi Order and all the other stuff.
Yeah,
but there's just it kind of culminates. And to me, with the Vong is where all these kind of separate storylines in the comics and everything else all kind of merge finally into one lane. Yeah. And then it goes from there. Like, here, we're gonna get to this point, and then we're gonna write 22 books about the fucking Vong War. Yeah. And then we're gonna write 18 books about this, and we're gonna write another 18 books about the next one. And that's where I picked up. I picked up where we were already at full fucking bore. Yeah. Like, we're at full military power by the time I picked up reading these stories.
Yeah.
These are great elements to get to that point, but the exciting parts, that while there is elements to this, it is exciting because of the names and you're kind of getting that background.
It's set up.
Yeah.
It's set up for what is to come, because it seems like in 99, when they decided to start the new Jedi Order and the Vong invasion and all that, they decided, okay, this is what we're doing from here on out. There was structure. Whereas leading up to this was like, all right, we'll do this trilogy, these comics.
Yeah,
these
it was
books.
it was haphazard, and quite frankly, it was it lacked structure. Like, you lack vision, right? It needed the structure, like what we benefit from now with the Keepers of Holocron is like, okay, all these storylines are going to all mesh. Not that the Legends material really negates each other, but I think there was some there was somebody going like, no, I don't know if that really works.
Yeah, well, you got to remember too, we did have Leland Chi, who was the Keeper of the Holocron, even back during Legends material. So
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, there was a lot less overhead, a lot of different groups and entities and people doing their own things, and they kind of had to sort of reconcile it all as they started going forward into that new Jedi Order. You can see a lot of, and then the prequels were coming out at the same time.
Yeah,
because you got to remember, New Jedi Order started in 99, the same year as the fucking prequels.
Right.
So they had to kind of try to reconcile the shit that George was doing with the prequels, with the books that they had already written, and explain some of that stuff away.
Yeah, and again, picking it up from the Vong War, I didn't have to worry about any of that shit. Because it was basically all that shit was reconciled.
Yep.
But the beauty of this trilogy, and it is like you said, it's the setup. Yeah. It's taking, these are the first steps. Heir to the Empire mostly was just a story inside itself.
Yeah.
The new Jedi Academy stuff is those stepping stones, however small they might be, are definitely relevant to the rest of what goes on in the Summer of Legends. So yeah, that's all I can remember out of that thing.
Okay.
You know what happened for me?
What?
Squadrons happened.
Yeah.
Fuck me, fucking nipple hard inducing fucking Squadrons, because all I'm doing is reminiscing about the TIE Fighter game.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that I think are going to, if they weren't into TIE Fighter game, they were into the X-Wing. And then they were into fucking X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
And then there was the Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron for the N64. And then there was the sequel for the GameCube. So, and then I think there was PC versions too of those. But yeah.
And so it's funny, like, as Gen Xers, right? We're
nice.
We're like that. There was a stage in my life where I stopped getting video game systems until my kids were old enough to justify getting video game systems. So I never had a GameCube. I never had an N64.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite end of that spectrum. I've had, since the Sega Genesis and N64, I've had every major video game system.
Right here.
Right, no, but I'm just saying, like, you were the one side of the spectrum where you were, you wanted to work and you wanted to fucking chase tail and you wanted to have kids and all that stuff. Right. Whereas I'm a nerd. I'm going to have all the video game systems and all that. And I just happened to luck into, a relationship that ended up being a long-term thing. And she was willing to let me put my penis in her and have my kids and all that stuff. So, it's two different ends of the spectrum. But
let's face it, every dude ever hopefully gets to that scenario where, like, yes, somebody is going to let me put my penis inside her and let me hang out and see like and procreate some fucking younglings.
Yeah. So
Isaac is, I think, the only one still hanging out.
Right.
Because he's all over this with You
you
guys are going to do Wraith Squadron series.
Squad.
Don't think it was on our radar to do.
No,
honestly.
I'm not saying that we wouldn't, but
if it's an excuse to fucking not do what's that one that Bronco Fett wants us to do so bad?
The Republic Commando.
Republic Commando, yeah. If it's an excuse not to do Republic Commando, maybe.
Just to twist that knife a little bit more into Bronco Fett.
Luna Girl's still here. She's hanging out.
Okay, good. So pivoting back to Squadrons, something I noticed when we watched the gameplay trailer was, and I like this because up to this point, especially with Disney Star Wars. First Order, Empire, it was all about the fucking white guys, right?
Mhm.
Empire was white guys, and then Rebels, Republic, Resistance. That's your diversity shit, right?
Right.
That's your female characters, your fucking people of color, all that stuff, right?
Alien races, all that shit.
Every box was checked in the fucking progressive, scorecard on the Resistance and Rebel side, whereas Empire / First Order was all just white dudes, a couple of white chicks in there. Now they're starting to kind of spread the love a little
And one
bit.
blue guy.
Right, and one blue guy. But now they're like, you look at squadrons, right? You have a bunch of black women, a couple of Asian women, like one Asian female admiral, and I think that's good, right? I think that's good to kind of spread that out, because who the fuck are we to say that
we're Empire guys?
Yeah, we are Empire guys, and obviously we're white men and all that. But I mean, we're not opposed to a fucking strong Asian female character being our fucking admiral and being like, fucking light those rebels up, blow those motherfuckers out of the sky and whatnot. But yeah,
I don't really give a shit. I really don't.
Well,
So squadrons for me, like, this is how fucking myopic I am with the squadrons thing. I want to fucking get in the cockpit of a TIE fighter and just fucking fly around. I don't give a shit who's with me. I don't give a shit what the fucking missions are. I don't give a fuck if I don't care if I'm in there as a fucking just pile of steaming shit. Don't care. I just want to fucking be able to sit in the cockpit and fly a TIE fighter like I did with that game. I keep it for everything. It comes back to the level of enjoyment I got from that TIE fighter game, and that's just
and that's fine. But all I'm saying is, I'm glad they're not making the Empire and the First Order just the faction of white guys, right? I'm glad they're spreading the love, because it shouldn't be that way.
Alphabet Squadron. It's interesting because Alphabet Squadron talks about the time frame in which it takes place. I'm trying to remember. There's still Imperials, but it gets into there's a more diversity, like when you're reading about it, and there is more diversity in there, and that's good.
Yeah,
I agree with you. It is good for the franchise. Like, don't turn the Empire into something that somebody wants to make a crusade about.
Right, because you're like, at that point, if you're making the Empire all white guys, you're kind of making a political statement at this point. Whereas you spread the love around, and it's like, hey, anybody can be in either of these factions. It all depends on where they came from, how they grew up, and how they got indoctrinated into one of these ways of thinking or the other. That's fine. So yeah, I'm glad they're doing it. Yeah, is all I'm saying.
But god damn it, I want to get this game out. I want it so bad. It's
you've only got July,
it hurts.
June, July, August, September, October. You've only got 4 months. So yeah,
only 4 months.
Yeah.
What am I going to play in the meantime? I guess Call of Duty. Just keep playing Call of Duty. So, speaking of Squadron too, the fucking really,
I don't know, man. You made a lot of sudden movements, so I go into defensive mode.
Right, you should. That's anyway. It was something on the subreddit for the Squadrons, right, where it talked about just the fact that all these Battlefront 2 players that are playing the fucking we talked about it last week.
Oh, the space combat.
Space 2? Combat, where they're playing at third person, like out exterior view,
which that's what I prefer.
Right, but all these motherfuckers that they're like, oh, I'm so good at this game and I'm so good at the space flying. Like, yeah, get in the fucking cockpit and use that perspective, because you might be really good at fucking flying from exterior, but when it's just here's your fucking cockpit view, like not so much up here. Nothing down there or there, everything in front of you.
Yeah.
And then fucking go in and be good at this fucking game.
And that's how you're forced to play in Squadrons. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
As it should be. It's a fucking it's designed to be
it's a combat sim.
Exactly. So fucking make everybody come on the same level.
Yeah.
And in that fucking
that's what she said.
There's a lot of people that are making the equation to the fucking erectile dysfunction game or what
what the fuck? Elite Dangerous.
Elite Dangerous, yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. He's talking about coming everywhere and then erectile dysfunction. I don't know what the fuck.
I don't know where your brain's at. I'm talking about Elite Dangerous, obviously.
Yeah.
But Dragon Buddy, I agree with you. Cockpit makes it ultimately immersive
Yeah.
because everything is, you have to fucking use the joystick. Like,
Which I have. I have the joystick and I have the throttle and everything else. I'm ready, man.
yeah, it's the fact that it's going to isolate people that you're flying inside. Anyway, what was I saying? I fucking forgot.
I don't know. You're talking about the like coming in cockpit.
Oh, Elite Dangerous.
Oh, okay.
So in Elite Dangerous, you're flying from inside the cockpit. Like this is your space flying, and a lot of people, that's what they've been enjoying. Like, hey, I'm flying in space with the Elite Dangerous, and there's a huge following for that game and the exploration of it. Like you had said on a podcast.
Oh yeah, it's a big aspect. Yeah.
Whereas I haven't. My attention span for Elite Dangerous is not there. It just isn't. I need to log on. I need to fucking shoot my load and get off.
And here we go again.
Yeah. Sex points. All the sex points.
Yes.
Ding. Didn't mute my thing. Anyway. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Squadrons.
It'll be fun. And is there cross-platform play?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Yeah. So like if I'm PC, can I play with somebody on Xbox and
I don't know.
Whatnot?
The precedence has been set, right? So the Call of Duty game now is fully enabled across platforms.
Yeah.
This is an EA game. They're saying it's going to be out on everything.
Yeah.
For one, this is one game that I won't play on the console because I think that I will lose the experience if I'm playing on a console. I've got that fucking curved monitor.
Oh yeah.
I've got the curved monitor. I'm gonna feel like I'm in the fucking cockpit of this thing.
This guy sends me text messages every day with like a picture of his fucking monitor set up, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, dude. It is slowly eking towards the setup I need to fucking be immersed into a simulator.
Yeah.
And I could probably work on my throttle quadrant a little bit because right now I have a joystick that has everything built into it. I think I might need something.
Yeah.
We'll
say that for another time.
Yeah, that's
yeah. No, it's exciting though. And obviously if we can do Squadrons of 5, we recruit a couple of our ATSW listeners.
Absolutely.
And we do the ATSW squadron.
Yeah.
And
we could have multiple squadrons. I mean, and follow along with what people are doing.
Yeah.
As we get closer to this, I think more of this stuff is going to flesh itself out. But yeah, I'm excited. Yeah.
And Isaac says yes, there is crossplay. So
sweet. Isaac said it. Must be true.
Yes, it is. It is written.
Isaac is not comicbook.com. or what's the other one? We got this covered.
All these fucking clickbait
what are we doing next week?
I don't know. So we haven't really talked about it, and we're
still
just
the Summer of Legends.
It is the Summer of Legends. I mean, we've talked about the Vong trilogy,
right?
Or trilogy, the fucking 20 trilogy,
Jason's trilogy.
I feel like that's the next. That is the next step. Going into the Vong. I got to say, the Corellian trilogy, which came after the Jedi Academy, was really fucking good. That was the one where the third book in that trilogy, I read over the course of 5 hours at work one day. Nice. I loved that series so much where I got the book, took it to work one day, went through it in a whole fucking work shift. So
nice.
I was a security guard at a Ford dealership, and
So
I was sitting in a car making sure nobody went through this one gate that wasn't supposed to. So very low maintenance job.
A lot of time to read,
indeed. But in the overall grand scheme of things, not much happened. It was the introduction of Han's cousin, Thrall's Sal Thrackin Solo, or
and he has
Thacken Solo, or
it was Thacken something.
Thacken Solo.
He does pop into a couple of things later on, but nothing that without his introduction, it would. Yeah, because I didn't read the Corellian trilogy, so when that character came in, I was like, oh, okay, he came from somewhere and did something important. All right, cool.
Yeah, no, but that trilogy, the Corellian trilogy, really good. Kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time,
Nice.
but no implications as far as the overall story and everything else.
So probably not worth spending an episode of Summer of Legends.
No, but I think the first book in the Vong series is probably worth its own conversation.
All right.
Because a lot happens in that. Chewbacca, his whole storyline, the introduction of the Vong, the fucking political. Well, the political shit didn't come in until later books in that series, but it was apathy, right? It was like, you're just warmongering. You just want us to start a war. We're not gonna, militarize or anything else. And the fucking just the ineptitude of the Republic at that point, and just they're fucking pussies, quite frankly. The Republic during the Vong invasion are a bunch of fucking pussies until it's too fucking late. They're like, oh, we shouldn't have been a bunch of fucking liberal Democrats and just fucking stuck our thumbs in our asses and just let everybody do whatever the fuck they wanted.
War, man.
Yeah.
Fucking hippies.
Yeah.
Hippies suck in every galaxy.
Yes, indeed they do.
So we're talking about New Jedi Order, Vector Prime then.
Yeah. I mean, that was the one. That was the one that started it.
Yep.
So much happened in that book.
Hideous fucking cover.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and they go into intricate detail of the faces of the Vong and how these fucking symbiotic creatures like attach themselves to the fucking faces.
Oh yeah, that's one of the biggest takeaways I had of the Vong series was how much you could get into something that was so evil and so fucking powerful. It made the Imperials look like fucking peasants compared to, like, as far as the power that they brought.
And that's the thing. Were they evil?
Well, I mean,
they were all about organics. They didn't like the synthetic, the droids, everything else.
Right.
But, I mean, were they evil?
I mean, they were killing people that, I don't know. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them. They kill people that look like me, so fuck them.
Okay.
And without the Vong invasion, I mean, what are you gonna do? You gonna let these ugly fuckers take over to everything? No.
Yeah.
Fuck them and their stupid shells.
I mean, I think that should be the next thing on the radar.
All right. Yeah, we could do it.
This is not
it. It could be a short week though. But we've both read it. We've both read both. I think of me talking. Fucking. I'm on the same drink with more ice.
Yeah.
Summer of Legends. Riveting.
No, I mean we can
AOC for the Vong.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. Good one, Isaac.
And Lunar Girl and Dragon Buddy are Lunar Girl just found out that Dragon Buddy pre-ordered Squadrons.
Oh,
so
sweet.
Nice.
What system?
I don't know.
PC, Xbox.
I don't know.
If you say PlayStation, you're dead to me.
Remember when the PS2 came out? How fucking good it was.
It was big, but you know what? I was always an outlier. Like when the PlayStation 2 came out, I was an Xbox guy. Right. Xbox and GameCube. I'm like, PlayStation 2? I don't care.
So yeah, I
got one eventually, but I was always an Xbox guy. So
that sounds like a good conversation for some Gen X talk.
Yeah,
game systems and
for sure.
Our love
the ones
that
we grew up on.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It
could be good.
It's good.
We'll
put a pin in that.
Anyway, let's fucking shut this off.
Yes, please. So, all right. Hopefully, this was semi-entertaining.
Sega. I don't know why.
Oh, the fucking whole Sega versus Nintendo. That whole conversation.
The only thing. Sega is one of those platforms where all I remember is fucking Sonic and that fucking Echo whatever that
Echo the
dolphin game. Yeah.
Well, see, the thing that I think of is, obviously Sonic, but Mortal Kombat. Because if you remember, Mortal Kombat, it was fucking huge. Came out in the arcades. Everybody was fucking crazy for this game.
Right.
You had these fucking parental organizations that are like,
Right.
this fucking ban this shit. This is fucking gross violence and all that. So it comes to the consoles, and Nintendo pussies out. They're like, no blood, no fucking fatalities. Whereas Sega's like, fuck, no, man, do your thing, bro. And that was the big difference. That's why a bunch of my friends bought a Sega Genesis, because Mortal Kombat had the fucking blood and everything else, while Super Nintendo, there's like, nah, it's sweat. It's beads of sweat that fly off the people's faces instead of blood.
Yeah, complete bullshit. And then you had the TurboGrafx crowd that was just like, oh, we're playing Splatterhouse and fucking all these really fucking disgusting games.
Right.
But anyway, that's a discussion for
another time.
Another time.
Indeed. So, all right. That being said, again, thank you everybody for listening.
Go to podbelly.com
and patreon.com/ATSW podcast.
And you will do it.
And you will do it. Make the sacrifice.
All right.
Okay. Until next time, everybody else and Dave, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Come on. There we go.
Okay, now what do I click?
And we're off.
Fucking
audio.
The funny part is, it's like I'm holding this up, right?
And you pull it back as I'm trying.
You can't see it. You can't see the fucking like when we do the thing, you can't see the glasses at all. Like
we might have to fix that for future things.
I would agree.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm. We're still alive.
It's such a long week, kids. Such a long week.
Dude, I am fucking exhausted. So here's the thing. Oh, yeah, I meant to mention this during our weeks. COVID, fucking quarantine, fucking just being at home, teleworking, all that.
Right.
My dad shows up, and obviously we feel this need. Like, we gotta keep him entertained. We gotta go and do something. We did the World War I village.
Oh, yeah?
So we did that. That was day one.
Okay.
Right? They got here the one night. They went to their hotel. We hung out. Day two, they get here. We immediately head out to the World War I place in the fucking woods. Get fucking ticks all over us. It's a whole thing. You know, we're playing golf. Day two, we got to do something else. Day three, we got to do something else. After day three, we're all like, "Fuck, I'm so tired," because we've been so lethargic,
right,
with the fucking COVID and everything else. When my dad gets here and we're just like, go, 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 it'd be fine in normal circumstances. But when you're fucking sitting around for 3 months on your fucking ass, and then you just start going nonstop.
Think of like being on a vacation is exhausting, right? I always look at
in general it is.
Yeah, because vacations are always, you look at it and go like, you want, all right, vacation is going to be time to relax, everything else. No, invariably, what vacation is fucking go, 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 because this is the time off, right? So you have to get all of the things done.
Yeah.
So that's the mentality.
Case in point, my vacation last year to California, where we spent a week at Disneyland, and every single day it's like, all right, we got to hit this, we got to do that, we got reservations for this, we got to do that.
I will say that the beauty of having adult children is that you don't need to have an itinerary if you go and do something.
That's true.
An itinerary helps, but you can start thinking about things along the lines of like, I don't have to keep somebody entertained.
Right.
Like, we only have to entertain ourselves.
Yeah.
And it does make things a little bit easier. Now I'm not at that point yet. Like, we haven't gone and had like vacations like that yet, but that's the goal.
Right.
Like adult children, and now you're not fucking dragging around kids that need to be entertained. You can just, all right, hey, you know what? How about we just chill out for an hour or two? Cool.
Yeah.
A nap? Sure. Why not? I mean, just that's the type of shit. Yeah, I know we're not off.
We're not what?
Oh, Dutch was just telling us that we're not Yeah, we're still live. We know.
This is the after party.
This is the after show.
Yeah, for the people that subscribe to the YouTube, they get to see the after interaction between me and Dave. And
we're way more animated right now than we were at the tail end of fucking this guy.
Yeah,
back into the pile.
Which, I mean, I'll take a lot of the blame for that. I was not prepared.
It's all right.
I planned to read the whole fucking thing, but
man, yeah, shit happens. It's all right. I can't
read a calendar, according to Dave. So
yes, obviously. But yeah, fucking vacations are exhausting.
Yeah. And by the time like you're done with the vacation, if it's especially like 2 weeks or more, you're like, fuck, I can't wait to get back home and get back to work and my normal routine, you know?
That was I remember as a kid, our vacations when we go down the shore, invariably, you know, we would go down. All right, we're going down the shore for 2 weeks. Right, my dad would take 2 weeks.
Do the beach house rental and all that stuff.
The campground, the shore campground.
Cool.
And so we go down, and you spend the first like 4 or 5 days just getting set up.
4 or 5 days.
So we had, growing up, we had a circa 1958 pop-up. So it was one of the original pop-ups that Coleman had put out, and it was canvas. So you have
hold on. When you say pop-up, what are you talking about?
So pop-ups back in the day were like just represented the fact, you put a tent and it goes on top of this trailer.
Okay.
Right. So you have like a trailer size thing, and it had the beds slid open on top of it.
Okay.
So you had basically picture a pickup truck bed, a little bigger than that.
Yeah.
That had like 2 beds that slid open on.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that opens up the interior of it. And then we had this canvas top, which is my mom. Like this was her camper growing up when she was a kid.
Oh. Okay.
So, and we had inherited. So when we started going down and doing these vacations, there was just days of, because canvas in and of itself, the going vacation was so much fucking work, even when I was a kid, because the camper had to get opened up, like the canvas had to get aired out, the screens had to get sewn up because invariably the screens would fucking break. Because my kid sisters would fucking want to go hell bent run into the fucking screen house with the fucking zipper closed.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to put new zippers and fucking screens and fucking waterproof the canvas and do all this fucking bullshit, right? Before we even leave,
right? Get
stung by a bunch of hornets, fucking all that shit has to happen. Then you get fucking you pile up all this shit for 2 weeks of outdoor living, and we get down to the camping spot. The site has to be prepped because my sisters and I. Like they had their own tent, and then I had my own tent, but we had to clear the site out to make room for these 2 tents. So you had the area for the pop up, and then you had the 2 tents. So all that site shit has to get cleaned out. Then the canvas gets popped up, right? Then the tarps have to go up. The tarps were the major motherfucker because a lot of times we had the same site, so you had the same idea where the tarps are going to go.
Sure.
But if you were in a different site, now the fucking rope plan for the top has to change because now it's like it's a whole thing. Because the canvas was waterproof, air quote, probably as much as we could. But without the tarps, that fucking thing would have been flooded out. It would have just been fucking miserable every time.
Right.
So, and then deal with the rust and there was a whole thing. So my father would not be set up. He wouldn't be set up to fucking like relax for almost a week into the fucking vacation.
Really?
And then with that, he's got fucking, it takes a couple days to get everything tore down to fucking be able to leave.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So what he would do is like, okay, fuck, tear, get all this shit up and finally get a point like, okay, relax. Okay, now we're starting. You get into that second week, and it's like, fuck. Now he's thinking like we are. We're as being that same age bracket now. It's like, fuck. I got to go back to work. I got all this fucking shit that I got to do. So the end of the vacation has already started to creep in, or work has already started to creep in the end of his vacation.
Right.
So he would make the determination like, fuck it, I'm taking a week of sick leave. So then he would go in and fucking take a week of sick leave. So it would buy us an extra week down the shore, which is fucking great. And even sometimes there'd be times when he would leave for the weekends and go do overtime work and then come back. So that he would go and get some do some work.
But he'd leave you guys there.
Yeah, he'd leave us there.
Okay.
And go back. So before I was driving, but I was, I'm a lot older than my sisters, so yeah, I was there for like tear up or all the build up, the tear down, fucking all that shit. And it was exhausting getting together, and then finally like, okay, I could fucking enjoy it. And then you had to entertain my fucking sisters because they were little,
right?
So they needed constant entertainment.
Yeah,
and this was before fucking, like, honestly, this is just before fucking Game Boys,
right?
And that type of technology,
iPads,
right?
iPhones,
None of that fucking shit. It was external stimulus all the time. Like we had a 13-inch television that we took on vacation with us. And that was it.
Yeah.
There was at one point
the rabbit ears.
Yeah. Well, they later on they had cable connection in each one of these fucking sites, so you can actually plug into a cable.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool. But yeah, and if it rained for a couple days, you were fucked. There wasn't a goddamn thing to do because you're down the shore.
Yeah.
Everything's based on being outside.
Yep.
So they had an arcade at the campground we would go to. So you go to fucking arcade. And then come back and fucking they had little things to do in the fucking campground. Campground life was fucking awesome as a kid.
Oh, I would imagine.
Don't get it wrong.
What beach were you near? Or
Sea Isle.
Sea Isle. Okay. Yeah.
So we were off of Route 9. It was the Pine Haven campground. So off of Route 9, the closest entrance we had was the Sea Isle City entrance. Yeah. If you go down there now, there's like a huge Wawa. You make the turn to go down.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Pine Haven is just down the street from that. And my buddy Jeff, he was at Echo Farms, which is actually closer to the Parkway exit for Ocean City.
Okay.
So it's further down Route 9.
Yep.
And yeah, but campground life was fucking great. One of my regrets for my children is that they didn't get to have that experience.
Yeah.
Because, with being in the military, for one, it just didn't lend itself to having a fucking summer where you could take, like, we got the benefit as a kid. We got the benefit of almost 4 weeks down the shore, 4 or 5 weeks sometimes. And you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
We couldn't pull that off because we both worked. Both Kathy and I always worked. So, we'd have little vacations, and my in-laws take vacations down to Sea Isle City, or Seaside Heights rather. So, and they were in a place down there. So they had that opportunity to go and spend time down the shore and do that, but not the campground. I think the campground life was just not safer, but just like, because it was a closed community. Sure. People that were there all the time, they knew everybody, they knew the kids. There was like, my first real girlfriend was my first relationship was a campground relationship. Nice. Right. And that was one of those situations where it's like, okay, cool, here's a fucking address if you want to write me a letter. Right. And would fucking pass letters back and forth, or have no communication at all. There were some of these people, you had no communication at all until fucking you showed up. I was like, hey, it's just like peas and carrots, blah blah blah. Yeah. But it was that idea in today's society of having that type of thing is
rare.
Yeah, you would never, and not unless you were fucking friends with Amish people.
Well, like, my kids have the luxury of having that with their grandparents, with Kristen's parents, because Kristen's mom has a camper every summer, with the exception of this year because of COVID. Fuck you.
Oh yeah, it's usually parked out here.
They're parked. Well, they're parked in our driveway, but then, for a few weeks every summer, they go find a campground near one of the shores. Mm-hmm. They set up shop just like you were talking about in a full-blown camper, so you don't have the whole setup process. Right. But then, they had that experience still with all of their grandkids over the course of like 3 weeks. So my kids have been fortunate enough to have that experience. Yeah. Whereas most kids, like you said, probably don't get that.
Yeah. As a kid, I rode my bike to the fucking beach from the campground.
Yeah.
Which in today's society, like, you're so worried about fucking,
yeah,
there's so many dick bags out there, which, not that there were dick bags back then too, but I guess we were more ignorant to it. Like, my parents were willing to let me fucking get on a BMX bike and fucking ride to the shore from the campground. And I'd be allowed to do that once I got to a certain age. So yeah, we talk about Summer of Legends, but we're talking about summer just in general. And this is one of the big things. Like, summer is, for me, the end of like the end of the school year going into like the rest of the summer until September for me, that was my
Your moment to exhale.
I never felt better. I never through the entire school year, there was never a time where I felt as good as I did the fucking any day during in the shore.
Yeah.
Being down the shore.
Yeah.
Like it was just one of those things for me. Like it's such a I don't know. It's summer's sacred for me.
Yeah.
That's why this intrusion, we're joking about it with the Oktoberfest and all that shit, but this fucking, I don't need this shit fucking getting in on my summer.
Yeah.
I want my summer to be my fucking summer. I don't need to be fucking worried. Like, are we missing out on the fucking deals for Christmas here in fucking July, August? Like, I don't want to worry about Christmas. I don't want to worry about fucking Halloween.
Yeah. Summer is the time to relax and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. I just throughout the entirety of of being able to remember this summer it's been sacred. And yeah, like I said, I think one regret, I don't know that my kids like feel the same way about it than I did, because they don't get to have the same experiences that I did.
Right, because they don't have that year-to-year experience. Yeah. Whereas, like, you might be able to take them once during their childhood, but they're not going to have that same attachment to that.
Yeah, it's like that. Thankfully, like you said, the in-laws have they rent a house every year and they have all the grandkids in and they love it. All stuff, and it's walking distance to the beach, but it's Seaside Heights. I can't fucking stand Seaside Heights. I really can't.
Isn't that where they do Jersey Shore?
Yes, that we went to see. We took our the Michigan contingent when they came in for the 100th episode. We went to fucking Seaside. That's so right. That they could see where the Jersey Shore.
Yeah. The Jersey Shore house and all that stuff were.
Italian flag on it. It's just the whole did the whole thing.
Yeah, it's good shit. All right, I gotta piss.
So do I.
Entertain our people for another minute.
We go camping to get away from people. So we have access to a 150-acre piece of land, so we get to play on. That's pretty fucking awesome. Yeah. So camping, air quote camping, to me, there's going to a campground, and then there's camping. Camping is you have to hike in and hike out, right? Take what you need on your fucking back. You hike in, you hike out. That's camping. Going to a campground is there's still a ton of people. Obviously, there's people to your left and your right, because campgrounds obviously they're trying to make money, right? So they're not trying to isolate you in the woods somewhere. So like Isaac is saying, get into 150 acres of land where you can just go disappear somewhere on the land. That's pretty fucking cool. Lunar Girl called it campering. We get away from people we know. And that was the thing. Like for me, my personality and who I was completely different than who I was throughout the school year. Like if somebody had ran into me down the shore, like that's what we call, like in South Jersey, we go down the shore, right? So if somebody had ran into me down the shore that I might have known through school, they wouldn't have recognized me. They would not have recognized me. Nope. Completely different personality. Everything is just different. Going down the shore and going to the campgrounds, I didn't have this burden of like what people would have thought of me or where I came from or any of that bullshit goes away. You just get to be the person that you are during the summer.
Yeah.
And for me, there's completely different personality. And I'd like to say that my junior year, did you piss all over your hands?
I'm just in case.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, like my later years in high school is when the shore Dave became more of regular Dave.
Yeah. And
Isaac's saying it. Shore Dave is real Dave. That's who I am now. But back in those days, like in school, completely different.
And it's understandable. I mean, you're figuring out who you are at that point. So, you're still trying to put on a facade for certain people.
Yeah. And honestly, you fall into, you fall into certain stereotypes and shit like that when you're in school. Like if you can't, I would rather my parents spend the money on me, be able to have the shore experience and be able to put some fucking Z Cavaricis on me.
Right.
You know?
Oh,
Or-
Z Cavaricis. Oh, I had one pair. Of
That's
those.
just a save it for another podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
More to follow.
A different point of view. Well,
Yes. Yes. But I can look back on it now and go like, yeah, I'm so glad that I didn't wear like the clothes and match up with the cool kids and all the other shit because we had the vacation in the summer.
Yeah.
Like that was it. We had spending money. We were able to do things down the shore. That totally worth it. Looking
and
back,
I'm sure the value you got out of that was
100
far more than
100% worth it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't trade a moment that I had in that experience to make any little bit to appease somebody that meant nothing.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
That some fuckface whose opinion really didn't matter meant a lot to me. Like while you're in high school, because you're spending a good majority of your life in a fucking building and in your prison term, right?
Yeah.
It's part of your 12-year sentence.
Mhm.
So while you're in there and you have to interact with the other inmates, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
But don't have that down the shore. I gotta piss.
Oh my god, my fucking legs.
So yeah, we're going to Ocean City tomorrow with my dad. It's been good having him here. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm rarely happy right now. Having my dad here, doing the things we're doing, so it's nice. It's nice right now. So it's gonna be sad when he goes. But that's life, I guess. So Ow, the anthem of our people. Yeah. Gen X. I think I saw a meme. Hell, it might have been your meme, Lunar Girl. Like the anthem of Generation X is ow, what hurts now, or ow, this hurts, or something to that effect. So yep. Now I think the next time that we record, oh good, Dave's back. So the next time we record, I know we're probably normally scheduled for this Sunday, but I think
Monday.
Well,
earliest.
Well, I think, quite frankly, this entire next weekend, including Monday, is probably not going to happen. I think what we do is over the next week.
Oh, your dad's still in town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over the next week, I release the audio for this episode 155. I release part 2 of episode 150.
Because people are complaining.
Yes. And then we reconvene on, looking at the calendar, the 5th or 6th of July. We have our July 4th weekend. We take our July 4th break, come back on either Sunday the 5th or Monday the 6th, whatever works for both of our schedules. And that's where we do episode 156, because I think trying to jam something into the next few days is not going to be
I'm listening.
good. So
no, I agree.
Yeah, I think we take a week and a half. We collect our thoughts. We go over whatever it is, Vector Prime, with a fine-tooth comb, and then we'd be ready to roll episode 156 on July 6th or 5th.
I concur with everything. We just, so long as everyone that cares, we give them a good enough heads up.
Yep.
Like, hey.
Well, that's what we're doing now.
Yeah. Isaac's a Gen X at heart, but I have to admit I'm a dirty millennial. Oof. It's okay, Isaac. We love you anyway.
Yeah. We can forgive.
Yeah. So. But we'll never forget. What was I doing?
Calendar.
Easy it is to fucking slip into work.
Squirrel.
Okay. So Monday the 6th. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We will do it.
Do it.
And that's that.
All right. So. Let's call it.
Yeah. Thanks everyone who's
America.
Isaac, Luna Girl, Dragon Buddy.
Big Swede who's at the fucking beach right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Which one?
He didn't say. He said down the shore appropriately.
Yeah.
But
again, we don't know. It could be seaside. It could be Wild
I doubt it.
Ocean City.
Lunar Girl, where's Nick usually hide out for the shore? Looks like Island Beach State Park, if I had to guess, just based on the picture.
Oh, yeah, we got LBI.
All right.
All kinds of options. All right. We're out, folks.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Peace.
Peace, bitches.